right, welcome to it. It is the Steve Gruber Show to kick off another brand new week here. Man, do we have a lot to cover here today. Live from Studio G and fighting for you from the foxhole of freedom, we go into another brand new hour. Remember, this show could have a triggering effect on you. It could result in extended periods of American pride and optimism and uncontrollable enthusiasm for America's future. We're kicking off the live broadcast and Real America's Voice and MTN, and we're reaching a growing global audience. Thank you for being here. Here are three big things you need to know this hour. Number one, former director of the FBI, James Comey, brought in for questioning by the Secret Service for his reckless social media post calling for President Trump to be taken out. Does it mean anything? We'll tell you. Number two, President Trump has returned from his Middle East trip, declaring it a huge victory and a step forward for world peace. Of course, Democrats are claiming Trump has failed in his first 100-plus days. You know better. And number three, as I'm sure you have heard by now, President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer that has apparently already spread to his bones. Now, let's be honest about what that is. That is a diagnosis of terminal cancer. The chances of Joe Biden living a year, not very good. In fact, he could pass any day now. Maybe that's why they've let us know. But what's really weird is that until just a few weeks ago, Joe Biden had the best health care in the world. He was surrounded by the very best doctors in the world, and diagnosing prostate cancer is among the easiest things to do in medicine these days, and yet somehow they all missed it. That is until symptoms popped up in his physical condition, But wait, did they know? And have they actually known for a very long time? You have to ask yourself this question based on the way they have conducted themselves. Remember when Joe Biden slipped and said he had cancer back in 2022. Remember this?
And because it was a 4-lane highway that was accessible, my mother drove us, and rather than us be able to walk. And guess what? The first frost, you know what was happening? You had to put on your windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer. And why can't, for the longest time, Delaware had the highest cancer rate in the nation.
That's why I and so many others have cancer. Joe Biden said he had cancer 3 years ago. It was chalked up to being nothing more than a Freudian slip. But was it? Did Joe know that he had cancer back then? And was that being managed from the shadows, just like his mental decline, that we all know has been getting worse and was out of control when he assumed office all the way back in 2021? This is a diagnosis that would have been made long ago. Like I said, prostate cancer is among the very easiest to diagnose. It normally takes at least 5 to 7 years to run its course. Listen to this.
It's a very aggressive form of cancer, and group 5 means that within that, it's the most aggressive type. That means it has the highest risk of spread, which obviously he has had. He's presenting with urinary symptoms, and I want the viewer to know that most of the time prostate cancer would be asymptomatic. When it reaches the point where you already have urinary symptoms, that's also a sign that it's pretty far advanced. When they say that it is hormone responsive, that likely means that they think by decreasing testosterone, it can be a testosterone-dependent cancer, that it will respond.
That is Dr. Mark Siegel from Fox News. Pretty clear. Diagnosable, treatable, something you would know about quite clearly. Your PSA levels are elevated or they're not. He took a physical every year. And not only is it easy to diagnose, it would likely have been treatable long before it spread to his bones. But now, I'm going to hazard a guess. His time is short. And I'm also going to suggest the release of the cancer diagnosis. That diagnosis on a Sunday night came for a reason when the whole world is focused on the release of the recording of Special Counsel Robert Hur and his interview with Joe Biden back in 2023. This is no accident at all. This is a strategy designed to do a couple of things. Number one, get the Hur tape off of the front page. And two, attempt to make Joe Biden untouchable and therefore the Democrats without blame. I mean, you can't attack a guy who has cancer, right? You can't do that. So let me be crystal clear. I am by no means going to attack Joe Biden, not the man. I'm sorry this is happening to him. I have heard those words myself. I know how devastating it can be. You don't want anybody to go through this. You don't. But make no mistake, I'm not going to attack Joe Biden for his obvious mental decline and dementia during this time in the White House. But what I am going to do is call out the liars that surrounded him. People like Jen Psaki, Karine Jean-Pierre, Anthony Blinken, Merrick Garland, Kamala Harris, and Susan Rice, name a few of the obvious suspects. I'm also going to call out Jill Biden, Hunter Biden, and all the other close members of his inner circle. You all lied. You lied about Joe Biden. You lied continuously. Joe Biden didn't pass the eye test. He didn't. We could all see exactly how bad things were every single day. And every time that he came out, we could see it for ourselves, and you lied. How do I know? Well, let's just go to the tape. Here it is.
So during this time, we were living in Chambers Road, and there were documents related to the Penn Biden Center or the Biden or the cancer shot or your book. Where did you keep papers that related to those things that you were actively working on?
Well, I don't know. This is what, 2017, 18, that area?
Yes, sir.
Remember, in this time frame, my son is either been deployed or is dying. And so it was, and by the way, there were still a lot of people at the time when I got out of the Senate that were encouraging me to run in this period.
He has no idea what he's talking about. Robert Hur wrote in his report that he would not pursue criminal charges against Joe Biden, even though they were warranted, because he was an elderly man with a poor memory. It was really so much worse. It was really so much worse. He forgets when his son Beau died, or when Donald Trump was elected president, or when he left the office of being the vice president. Listen to this.
I hadn't walked away from the idea that I might run for office again. So if I ran again, I'd be running for president. And so what was happening, though, what month did Beau die? May 30th, 2015. Was it 2015 he died?
May 2015.
I think it's 2015.
I'm not sure the months are, but I think that was
Yeah.
That's right, Mr. President.
And what's happened in the meantime is that Trump gets elected in November of 2017? 2016. All right. So
He doesn't know when Beau died. He doesn't know when Donald Trump was elected president. He doesn't know when he left the office of vice presidency. And yet they all kept lying right to our faces. You're busted now, and I'll have more after the break. The cover-up of the cover-up of the cover-up. That's what we're dealing with here. And look, I'm not going to attack Joe Biden personally. It's the people around him that lied and lied and lied again to you and to me and to everybody. And they're caught. This book by another one of the infamous liars, Jake Tapper, Original Sin, comes out tomorrow. So how convenient that on a Sunday night, they flood the zone with a story about Joe Biden's aggressive cancer that has spread from his prostate to his bones. And the media lied about Joe Biden. They lied about his competency. You see, we're now focused on the Hur recordings that we just played for you. Joe Biden in 2023 didn't know when his son Beau had died. Happened in 2015. He's like 2017, 2018. Doesn't know. Donald Trump, he says, elected in 2017. No, that was 2016. Doesn't even know when he left office. And yet he is supposed to be competent. And the media, the media, just as guilty as everybody else. Listen.
I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
She knows so long as she was 9.
In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been.
President Biden has a photographic memory. His understanding and mastery of a complicated geopolitical situation, remarkable.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
I was sitting, 2 feet from him across the table, and he was, intense.
Have trouble walking sometimes? Yeah, so did FDR. He wanted GD war.
But he's totally focused. He's very sharp.
They say he's sharp in meetings and so on.
Very lucid, very well informed. Biden is stately, and he comes with gravitas. There hasn't been, as far as I know, a single claim that Biden made a mistake.
I'll get back to that because there was a lot more. And it was the dishonest corporate media led by people like Jake Tapper and Chuck Todd, who now protest being called out for being the liars that they are, for not only ignoring what was blatantly obvious, but for attacking people like me, for pointing out how bad he was. Because, again, it didn't pass the eye test. We could see it for ourselves. There it is. We were conspiracy theorists. Those right-wing talking points. Yeah, those right-wing talking points were, look at the guy. Look at him. You can see it for yourself. You're all lying bastards, every single one of you. And, unlike you, I was telling the truth. And I still am. Everyone knows it. But we must continue to remind everyone of just how blatant they were in pushing this dishonest narrative. Even from the West Wing. The lies, and the lies. Listen.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. I can't even keep up with him.
The most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
I can testify because I've been working very closely with this president for the past 2 years. I've been knowing him for 30 years. And I'm telling you, this guy's tough. He's smart. He's on his game.
Every one of those people, liars. Thankfully, the American people can see this for what it is, the biggest political scandal in American history. And one that's going to come at a very high cost politically, that's for sure. Van Jones among those that realize the Biden cover-up has deeply damaged Democrats, and it will continue to do so going forward. Listen to this.
Anybody who cares about this country and about just the dynamics of power, this is the emperor's new clothes playing itself out in real time. Everybody knew, but everyone was afraid to say, except for David Axelrod for 2 years, that something was wrong here. And so, I was shocked. I love Joe Biden. I don't like him. I love him. I got a chance to work with him when I was a part of the Obama administration and loved him more every day. I was shocked to see his condition when he came out, and so was the world. And that wasn't the first time he was in that condition. The book makes it very, very clear. There are people who knew and said nothing. And that is a crime against this republic. And I think the Democrats are going to pay for a long time for being a part of what is now being revealed to be a massive cover-up.
A massive cover-up by everyone. Inner circle, second circle, third circle of death. On the other side, a level of political tone deafness that may be unprecedented. On Meet the Press, they actually believe Donald Trump is failing in his first 125 days. And that's why the tape was released. Really? Whoa. Listen.
And it's clear to me that President Trump released the tape because he's trying to distract from his disastrous, unprecedented, disastrous first 100 days. I mean, we've all been talking about that at the table today. So to me, that's what's at play. Imagine a situation where you're so desperate, so underwater on every issue that you play your best card in the first 6 months of an administration. So the way I see this is good for Joe Biden. It's good for the Democratic Party because we can dispense with this now and not closer to the midterm elections. You think it's good for...
Good for the Democrats. No, lady, you are way off the mark on everything you just said. But then again, what would I expect? Now, if you were smart enough to figure out Joe Biden wasn't playing with a full deck like me, well, you might have what it takes to own your own geothermal system. Got a well and some do-it-yourself skills? Well, you're halfway to owning a geothermal system right now. WellConnect is the only hybrid geothermal unit that is designed for easy homeowner installation. No digging, no ductwork, no demolition. You could hire a trusted local HVAC professional, too, if it's not your alley. Either way, the savings start instantly, and the system pays for itself. You know how this works? It works through the well in your yard, right? Through the well in your yard. So you keep your existing heating and cooling system. This is supplemental to it. And you save 90% or more on your bills, on heating and cooling. It is remarkable. WellConnectGeo.com. WellConnectGeo.com. Go take a look. Start saving like a real pro. WellConnect Geothermal. Made simple. It is the most brilliant system. It's patented. It's available all over the United States for yourself or installation with your local HVAC. Thousands of systems already in place. WellConnectGeo.com. Check it out. You're going to find it interesting. I do. More on Joe Biden and everything else coming up. It is the Steve Gruber Show, kicking off another brand new week.